Perfect. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Well, hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to my Ignite Talk. My name is Andres Montmayor, and today I'll be doing the Ignite Talk talking about experience. The title of my talk is Just Do It, and I'll be showing you guys how these words help me change my mentality and how it changed my life. Hopefully, this talk inspires someone listening to pursue your passions and follow your dreams. So, as you think you guys might realize by now, this will be a sort of motivational speech. The purpose of this talk is to try to inspire some of you guys to follow your passions and finally do whatever it is that you always wanted to do. We probably all have a bucket list with things that we all wanted to do, so please keep them in mind while hearing this presentation, and hopefully some of you guys are inspired to do them. If only one person from this group decides to try something new, that is all I need to consider this talk a success. Okay, so just do it. What is just do it? We all have bucket lists of things that we want to do in life. Um, Most of the time, we tend to overthink and make excuses, and we never get to actually chase our dreams. The just do it mentality tries to overcome those barriers, and we put ourselves and helps us follow our dreams in a responsible manner. So the just do it mentality is something that I came up a couple years ago. Um, it's a mentality that says is like screw it, I'm just gonna try it. Some of the best experiences in my life have come when I've been afraid, I wasn't sure of something, and I just said like, hey, let me just try it. First of all, yes, I know that Just Do It is a slogan for Nike, and it's been for a lot of years. But I really enjoy the idea behind it, right? The idea is simple, but can be profound at the same time. It's simple in the sense that it's a motivational quote, right? Try to hit those spots to inspire you to do something. Nike uses it a lot for exercising, like just get up and run, or don't be afraid and just go to the gym. But this slogan can be elaborated a little bit more and can be a little bit more profound. It can be viewed as a simple quote, as a don't be afraid of failing and just do it. Or if you start today, you'll be in a better place than yesterday, so just do it. But it doesn't necessarily have to be about exercising. It could be about a lot of things, and I'll later talk about my experiences. But some of these other things could be just pick up that book that you probably want to read and start doing it, or take that online course that you always wanted to, or start that blog about a topic you love. We humans are capable of doing some amazing stuff, but if we never give ourselves the opportunity to succeed, we never will. And in this case, I'm talking about actually trying those things. Uh, these things can be from everything, like painting, writing a book, taking a photography class, going bungee jumping. It can be whatever you want to do that you haven't done in your life. If you go to the internet, you can see some incredible stuff of people doing it in the world. But the only difference between them and us is that they actually try to do them. So when talking about bucket lists and passions and dreams we want to pursue, it is normal for us to put roadblocks or excuses or something that we just cannot do it. Right? Some example is I'll start next month, or I'm really busy right now, or let me just finish this thing first and then I'll pass over. So the just do it mentality is tries to eliminate all those fears, those insecurities, and tries to put you in the best position to succeed. So the most important thing about the just do it mentality is that we need to get out of our comfort zone. The comfort zone is nothing else but a graveyard for your dreams and ideas. For those who don't know, the comfort zone is a psychological state where things feel familiar and we are at ease or we feel safe. It's a state of mind where everything's part of routine and you just do it every day without actually thinking. It's a beautiful place, but nothing really grows there. Uh, so I want to take this time for you to try to think if some of you are in the comfort zone. Uh, I'm just gonna open up some questions for you to reflect. But when was the last time you guys did something new? When was the last time you guys talked to someone you don't usually talk to? I know that right now we're in pandemic and it's kind of hard in lockdown to change our routine, but this is exactly the purpose of this talk, to make you realize it and try new things and follow your passions and develop new hobbies and things you always wanted to do. This could be from reading a new book, trying a new hobby, or maybe just talking to one of your neighbors, someone you never talked before. Even though we are in lockdown, we can still grow as individuals and become better versions of ourselves. I know this sounds challenging and time consuming, but it never is as bad as it seems, right? Uh, we, we think that we may look dumb just going out and trying new things ourselves. But that is not as much. You know, no, everybody, we all have our personal issues that we're dealing with that we don't have time to focus on other people's, right? So if so, going out and doing new hobbies, nobody's actually gonna be focusing on you. So don't be afraid of doing new things and trying new stuff. Personally, some of the best experiences in my life has come when I decided to leave the comfort zone. When I first start thinking of new goals or passions I'd like to pursue, the first thing that pops into my head are excuses. That's normal. I'll start next month. I don't have the correct year. I don't know enough about the topic. The just do it mentality urges you to suppress those thoughts and to try to ignore them. Whenever we make excuses, or it's a way that we are protecting ourselves from failure. If you never try, you will never fail. But that is not the correct way to view life. If you never try, you never live, right? Most of these excuses and roadblocks that we make ourselves are not really there. We put them there just because we don't want to get out of the comfort zone. And just like I mentioned in the previous slide, we need to get out of the comfort zone in order to grow. So a quote I really like is, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. So I know that doing new stuff and meeting new people and trying new hobbies may seem a little bit overwhelming at first, but at the end of the day, it's something that is worth it. You're growing as individuals. So right, so right now I've been telling you guys to try new things, to be bold. But in order to succeed, you need to be prepared, right? There is a fine line between being outgoing and being reckless. Uh, and an example is you are not going to wake up tomorrow and try to run a marathon, right? You need a nutritional plan, you need the training plan, you need a couple months. So if you just go out and try to do something like that and you fail, well, that's kind of on you, right? You need to plan to. Another example maybe one of my bucket lists I haven't done so far is that I really like to write a book at some point of my life. If I try to write a whole book in one day and I fail, I'm gonna feel like I failed in my goal. But I was set up to fail by myself, right? I need to have a correct plan, a correct uh, idea, time frame in order to actually succeed. If you have reasonable goals and a correct timeline, anything is possible. Anything. So I was saying about the marathon example. If every single one of you goes with a trainer and starts a nutrition plan and trains for 6 months, 7 months, I assure you that every one of you is going to be able to do a marathon. So what I'm trying to say is, in order to succeed, you need to have a reasonable goal and a correct timeline and plan. Uh, and, and if you have that, anything is possible. Okay, so how to plan for this list is personal for me, right? Everybody has different ways to approach a problem, but this is for me the best way that it helped me succeed in my experiences. So the first one and the most important, in my opinion, is to define your is a big difference between having an idea, example, uh, an idea would be I'd like to run more, but having a goal is more like I want to run a marathon under this. Having just idea I want to run more, it's not specific enough. What is more? 1 minute more, 1 second more, 1 week more. Like you need to have a concise goal of exactly what it is you want to do, in order to have a correct plan and a correct training. So right now I'm speaking a lot about exercising, and you're gonna see why in a couple of slides. But I want to make this open so that so everybody can apply it to yourself. It doesn't have to be only exercise. It could be whatever your dream is, whatever your bucket list is. Um, the second goal, the second step in the plan for success that really helps me is to actually write it down. I'm not really sure what exactly it does, but there is something psychological in me that once I write it down, I feel more pressure. I feel that I want to do it. I want to do it more. I feel obligated to finish. The third step is to plan for obstacles. Life happens, and it's really hard to have to follow an exact plan and exact steps. So, and it's not a bad thing, but you just have to plan accordingly. If you have a trip and you won't be able to train, that's fine. You can adjust your training plan accordingly, but you have to plan ahead. If you don't plan ahead, you're not going to have the correct plan and the correct strategy to actually succeed. Um, the fourth step, which is kind of what I was saying at the beginning, is to develop the right plan for you. Everybody is different. There's no people in this world the same. What worked for me doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. So just like this list of to plan for success is personal for me, you have to create the correct plan, the correct training program for you, and you have to do it yourself. Whatever works with me doesn't necessarily work for you. And the fifth one, which I like the most, is that you have to celebrate your success. You have to appreciate the little things. You, you 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 don't celebrate at the end when you finish the goal, because the process in the middle is gonna be really hard and gonna be really strenuous. You have to put little milestones and take a step by step to to and actually celebrate the progress, right? It's more about the journey than the destination, right? So we have to be happy with whatever we're doing in life, and make sure that you celebrate those little things that make the difference. So now I'm gonna jump over to the how has this mentality affected me. Uh, So I will now talk about several items that I was able to scratch off my bucket list, and they were using just this just do it mentality. So the first one, I ran my first marathon and I ran my first Ironman 7.3. This was my first exposure. This was the first time that I really did that just do it mentality. So just as a little bit of background, I always knew that I wanted to run a marathon. It was one of my bucket lists since I was little. Uh, and I was somewhat fit. I used to do high school sports, but I never really saw this as a possibility, right? It was just like a bucket list, like someday I'll run a marathon. Um, and while I was in college, one of my friends called me and he said, "Hey, do you want to run a marathon?" And I immediately said yes. I wasn't in the best position. I wasn't in the best physical state, but I knew that it was something that I really wanted to do, right? Uh, After at the end of the week, he called me again, and he had to cancel because he had a trip, or I don't remember exactly what happened, but he had to cancel, and that was when I first saw the just applied to just do it mentality. It was more like screw it, I'm gonna do it on my own. I don't need somebody to run with me. This is something that I really, really, really want to do. So just why do have to depend on other people? Let me do it on my own. Let me train. Let me go get what I want to do, which in this case was it was always in my bucket list to run a marathon. So of course, I had to plan for success. It's not like I'm gonna run a marathon next week. No, I looked for marathons in cities nearby. I got one with 6 months of anticipation, and I created a training plan, and I went on my own, a little by little. Uh, Training, I had the training plan, nutritional plan, and at the end of the day, I ran the marathon, and I did really, really good. And all of this happened just because I said, screw it, I'm gonna try it. I had originally put like excuses like, hey, maybe I'm not ready, I'm not that fit, or maybe I'm gonna go in another city to run it. I'm gonna be on my own. I'm not training with anybody. I said like, hey, screw it. It's something that I really want to do right now, and why not do it? So I went to a marathon and I did really good. And this marathon was the stepping stone to a couple of years that were one of the best years in my life because I did a lot of races. So the just screw it, I'm gonna try it marathon turned out to take me to Santa Cruz, California, where I did the first Ironman 7.3 that I did, then to Los Cabos, which I did again, and I met a lot of friends. I met a lot of people that that had the same idea, had the same mentality as me, and it all started with let me just try it. Let me just follow my dream. The second example I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about is that I started my own YouTube channel. So I probably already told you guys, but around 8 months ago, I started my YouTube channel with one of my friends. So this was really weird because I always wanted to have a YouTube channel. I always wanted to. I like YouTube, and I knew that at some point I want to try a YouTube channel. But there goes the excuses again. Like, hey, I need more gear. I need better gear. I'm not really sure. I consider myself a shy or an introverted person, so I didn't really feel comfortable behind the camera. But again, this is excuses and roadblocks that we put ourselves. So you just have to start doing it. I started filming with my phone. I later got a camera. Then I started. I was the chef at the beginning of the videos, and I realized that I didn't like the tension. I'm not. I'm kind of camera shy. So I got one of my friends to start doing the cooking for me, and it was just like, hey, let me just try it. I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel. And here we are, 8 months in. We have around 60 videos in YouTube. We have around 20,000 subscribers that view our videos. And we are really, really close to monetize the channel. And it all started in pandemic, right? So again, going to the idea, like, it is possible to try new things. It is possible to do new things in pandemic, and 8 months ago we started the channel and we're going as strong as ever. Next experience I'm going to talk about is climbing the Mexico highest mountain. So Mexico's highest mountain is called Pico de Orizaba, or in its native tongue, Citlatepetl. It's located in the center of the country near Mexico City, and it's 5,700 meters tall, so around 18,000 feet. Um, this was a weird experience because again, this was one of the things I've always wanted to do. Uh, but it is dangerous going to mountains of this height. You have to actually train, right? So it was like, hey, let me try it, just do it. I know I'm scared. I know there's a lot of excuses or red roadblocks that I could put myself, but it was something that I really really want to try, and I was nervous. I was scared. I was anxious. I was excited, like all on the same at the same time. Um, and and I'm gonna say has been one of the best experiences in my life. The moment you get to the summit and you're in the top of the world and you're just looking down on on everything, it's just an undescribable feeling. And it all started when I said, "Hey, let's try it, let's do it." I know that there are excuses. I know that there are roadblocks, but let's overcome them. And they have a training plan. Let's do everything right. And this has become one of the most amazing experiences in my life going to this mountain. And lastly, something that maybe some of you may relate a little bit more, I got accepted into the Ignite program. So for those who don't know yet, I didn't study computer science or something IT related. I graduated as a mechanical engineer, and after graduation, I went to work in a construction company here in Mexico. And I knew that wasn't the path for me. I knew I really like computers. I really knew I like programming, but I didn't study something IT related in college. So what did I do? Instead of putting out excuses and just say like, hey, this is my life now, I trained on my own. I took online courses in the afternoons and night, and I did everything I could to get myself in the correct position to to be able to get into Atos. And I'm a self-taught programmer, and I'm actually like pretty excited every day I wake up to come work here because I knew this was something that I really wanted to do for a long time, and I was able to do it just because I tried it instead of putting excuses and putting roadblocks. I actually tried it. And I'm not a great public speaker, but this opportunity has led me to this position right now where I'm talking to people all around the world, and they're listening to my experiences. So I think that's a really cool experience that I've been able to get here in Atos. So just to end this in conclusion, well, the first thing that I urge you guys is to get out of your comfort zone. The life happens when you're out of your comfort zone. We are capable of doing some amazing things, but if we don't give ourselves the opportunity to succeed, we never will. So just try it. You never know if this new hobby is gonna be the next hobby for the next of your life, or if your neighbor is gonna become your best friend. Just try it. Just get a little bit out of your comfort zone. Having said that, we do need a clear objective and a goal defined, and we need a plan accordingly so that we are able to reach it. Right? There's a big difference between having a goal and having an idea. Um, and lastly, we just need to believe in ourselves. We are capable of doing some amazing things, but we need to believe that we are capable of doing it. And with that, I want to end this presentation. So I urge you guys to just do it. Just follow your dreams and aspirations. So thank you very much. Now we're gonna take a 5 minute break, uh, and we'll come back with Anna.
Thank you, Andres.
Thank you so much, Andres.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Andres. Amazing work. I'm very excited. I was very excited when Andres told me that he wanted to give an Ignite talk because, as you've just seen, he's an inspiration to what just doing it means and just getting out there and doing our stuff. As Andres mentioned, we're going to take a 5 minute break and then we're going to come back with Anna and her talk about meeting the universe with AI. Please take these 5 minutes to start writing down your bucket list and things you just want to get doing. And thank you so much for listening. We'll be back in 9:35. Oh, and I'm also sending right now the link to the channel so that you can see some amazing and delicious food.